You're listening to IHC's podcast. Today's topic is Culture is Medicine.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the IHC podcast where culture meets community. I am your host, Marissa Hemstreet from the Canyonsito Band of Navajos and your communications coordinator from the Indian Health Center, where we provide medical, dental, counseling, WIC, and prevention services to over 23,000 members, while specializing in the unique healthcare and needs of American Indians and Alaska Natives. And today we're here with
Hi, my name is Brian Laban. I am Hopi Tewa from Arizona. I'm from the Yoelabaki community, which is Spider Mound, but reside here in Flagstaff. I work with Native American Fitness Council, where I am the Director of Culture and Education. And yeah, that's who I am.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for the IHC podcast, Culture's Medicine segment. I really wanted to reach out to you because you're one of the main heads at the Native American Fitness Council, and that's how we met many moons ago when I got to attend a personal training certification held by NAFC. I think that one was at Flagstaff at NAU in Arizona. It was super fun, full of culture, and I really got to see how you guys connected Native American culture and heritage with physical well-being, and just how, tying these fitness elements into our culture kind of help give that backbone of reasoning of why we should, maintain our wellness, and how fitness is medicine and exercise is medicine. So thank you so much. Can you share a little bit about yourself? What got you started at NAFC?
Well, a little bit about myself. I think I kind of stumbled into this path, which is an awesome way to do it because it just gave me realization and actually just found my passion in movement. I think I got my start in movement, just from the cultural perspective, from running. I think Hopi has a lot of great runners. We have Louis Tuanima. They got a silver medal in the 10,000 meter in the Stockholm Olympics. And so we're very proud of that. But a lot of our culture and our ceremonies involve a lot of stamina. So we move a lot. And from there, I ended up getting an opportunity for training in the martial arts. So I trained a lot in the martial arts and ended up having a business in martial arts. And to supplement my income, I ended up working at the Wellness Center in Tuba City, where I got a scholarship to get a personal training certification, and actually ended up meeting John Bleverneck, who's the German at the time, and he was doing a presentation out there. And so it just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed, and it just got bigger and bigger. And so when I met John, he was already in the one of the top presenters in the fitness industry, and I got to listen to his niche, which was really mainly balance and movement. Got to travel all over to hear them and meet with all the top presenters, and that was ended up being our glue, or something that stuck us together. Myself, John Bleverneck, and Elfrida Barton, who's a fitness instructor out of Window Rock, Arizona, or Fort Defiance, Arizona. We all had the same idea, and we just got together and says, let's do this, and it just kept moving and kept moving and kept moving, and ended up being Native American Fitness Council. And 21 years later, we're still here.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so I like that you said, meeting John and Alfreda Barton is kind of like you guys just stuck together, really, because I think, like you were saying, that, John inspired you to like reach out to him a little bit, especially with his focus on balance and was it balance and movement or?
Yeah, balance and movement. His niche is balance. He's a balance expert.
Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks to his picture when he's like on his little toes and the balance beam thing. Awesome.
Yeah. So I think a lot of that, him coming from the top of the fitness industry, especially in balance. He ended up becoming a consultant with Nike,
Mhm.
and he was up there giving them some pointers and some direction when he was working on the Nike free shoe when it was in development. And one time we had a training out in Chinle. I think I was working with the sports teams out there in Chinle, Arizona, and working with their girls basketball team and boys basketball team. And then the things that we were doing there on the reservation, um, Nike, John got to present to the Nike, all the PhD people that are developing the shoes, and they're like, "Oh wow, this is awesome. This is brilliant. This is stuff that we've never seen before." And while he was presenting that kind of information to them, we were already giving it to the youth out on the reservation. So it was kind of nice to hear that, instead of us natives receiving the leftover stuff and the practice stuff that a lot of the professionals ended up doing with our native communities, we were out there giving the top information to our youth before even Nike got it. So that was one of my proudest moments, and I would like to talk about that and make reference to that because that was our goal is giving the top information, the best information to our natives, and so we can thrive from that and know that we got the best.
Yeah. And I saw that you guys started NAFC in 2004, but you became a nonprofit recently. So what is it like becoming a nonprofit, and what challenges did you guys face turning your organization into that?
Well, I can't really have too much experience about or talking about that because we actually turned nonprofit the month before COVID hit. I think COVID hit in March, and I think we were like all happy in February. We got nonprofit status now, so we have some opportunities. Then COVID hit, and pretty much any contract that dealt with the public all got canceled. So we got canceled, and John was able to keep going and keep NFC still going, but there was no work, and I had to become a forklift driver and work for Purina at that time, and that's how I survived. But then when we came back, we're a nonprofit, so we started to work, but we got noticed that because of COVID and our inactivity, they pulled our nonprofit status. So we had to go through the whole process of getting that status back. So just um, I think in December, late December or early January, we finally got our status back. So yay, we're a nonprofit.
Again.
But we are just still um, trying to learn about it, and hopefully we get some more help and direction and we can really utilize our nonprofit status.
Yeah. What was the goal behind getting the nonprofit status?
The whole goal of our nonprofit status, in overall general thinking is that when we started at Native American Fitness Council, we started it using John Blevernick's business. And so, technically it was his business. Native American Fitness Council was John's business. And gradually, this grew and grew and grew, and everybody, many people want to support us, and they say we're doing something really great. Um, and getting to that point where, after 20 years, we're like, I don't know how long we're going to last, but the great thing he did was pretty much donated his business, turned it into a nonprofit business. So it's not his business anymore; it's a nonprofit. So he gave that up because of the goal and the mission of helping natives. So um, great kudos to John for doing that,
Mhm.
and we want to keep hopefully the Native American Fitness Council is here for a long time to help people all over our great country.
Like you were saying about John and becoming a nonprofit, and how ultimately it was just to give back to the Native American community and not so much to be a business, especially his business. So I think that's really nice of John to, have NAFC turn into a nonprofit. And I feel like it really sticks with the mission that you guys all embody, especially when it comes to the NAFC trainings. When you're there, it's a whole other vibe. And, to me, it was interesting because I've never been around that many natives who are passionate about movement, fitness, exercise, and giving back to their community than I have at NAFC trainings. And that's the trainings that I've been to for personal training, the youth fitness leader, the exercise and aging one, and medical conditions. That was super cool. And even at Nike, when we do the native fitness trainings there. Um, and I feel like you guys continue to embody that message. And I think the fact that you fought to continue to have nonprofit status is just amazing because again, like you're saying, it was inactive in 2020 because of the pandemic. It's not your fault. It was a virus pandemic. And then reclaiming that nonprofit status this past December. So I think that's awesome. And, just kudos to you all for staying true to that mission of making sure that these fitness techniques and like the latest knowledge goes directly to Indigenous communities who need it.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, just speaking to people outside Native American Fitness Council and outside of the people that we serve, everybody else is like, wow, this is awesome. I've never heard of anything like this. I've never. I mean, they just we get, I don't know, complimented. You guys are good people doing good things for other good people so they can do good things. And that's like, yeah, that's kind of what we do. And it's I think it's this the icing on the cake when we 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 work with trainers like yourself and they come back and they tell us, hey, I did get to do this. I work with this person. This is a success story that we've done. And, so and so did so much better. She did this, or he did this, or this person. We start working on some sports activities, training, and blah blah blah. And now they're doing really great, and they're so much better. Their injuries are reduced, and there's some potential to go to college. Um, Stuff like that is just amazing that that trickle down effect that can affect so many other lives. And I think that's what just keeps the passion and the mission going. And I don't think we'll ever quit.
Yeah, well, please don't. If not, then do a training of trainers and teach them how to do the same thing within NAFC, of course. And then when I was able to attend an NAFC training and brought it back to the Indian Health Center where I've worked since 2014, in my capacity as fitness coordinator, I was able to train 60 people a month. And that was because I was certified as a personal trainer through NAFC. And with those trainings, I was also able to create a chair exercise class for the elders. I was also able to create a youth fitness class. And those classes we had chair exercise 2 times a month, and no, 2 times a week, for each, for a chair exercise class, we had that one 2 times a week. And then for youth fitness, we had that one once a week. And I feel like the trainings that NAFC provided gave me the tools to, properly work with these elders, these youth in a capacity that they understood and felt comfortable and safe. So thank you for that. And fingers crossed, our current fitness coordinator gets to go to an NAFC training soon.
Yeah, always welcome. I think I really like the way our trainings and the certifications are set up. Um, I've gone to other trainings. I got certified with Coopers. A lot of it is technical. A lot of it's, to me, almost impractical. You don't use those when you're working with grandma. You don't you use those when you're working with that 15-year-old kid that wants to get better at basketball, or whatever. And it's being more practical, and how can you use it, and how can you keep people motivated. And I think that's been the biggest challenge, you know, exercise is out there. There's so many different kind of things that you can do with people, but how can you make it applicable? How can you make that connection? I
Mhm.
think I think that's where ended my title ended up coming about as director of culture and education, is how to make that connection with our native groups, our native communities. Um, and I try to uh, link things together. I think almost every culture is pretty well connected and has the same thing. So I like to use the medicine wheel, and the medicine wheel in the native culture is healing. It's directions, or it's about the people, and you can use those same concepts, for movement, and that's what I use it for. I try to explain, hey, let's use the medicine wheel. You go forward, backward, side to side, and then you go rotational. And I think that's just your basic movement. And if you can explain that to people, um, exercise becomes simple. We need to move in those five directions and in those different planes. We got our flat plane, we got our disc plane, and we got our side plane. If we can move in those directions at those different planes, we pretty much cover every movement. And I think that's amazing, and I think that's what we kind of I my personal I try to explain that with functional exercises. You can take any equipment. In martial arts, one of my grandmasters was saying, like, I can do a defense program with just using a spoon, and it's just using those movements in different directions and different planes, and you can become very effective in what you do. But it's really movement and trying to get people to make that connection, because I think that connection is key. That's our roots. And if you can give that connection to the roots, then everybody goes, oh, well, then there's a purpose to it. And a lot of people say they want to exercise, they say they want to move, they say they want to get healthier, but it's just, trying to get that link to why.
Mhm.
And if you can get that link to why and give it a little bit more purpose, it just got more got more birds in the basket than just one. So it makes it easier. It makes it more worthwhile. It's like I don't. There's a reason why to do it.
Mhm.
We always talk about, well, we have to get up in the morning, and I think pretty much every culture says that, get up every morning and face where? East. Take that medicine wheel, face east. That's that first direction. And if we can start, and just like what we are just doing in Hopi, we have that same, but with more. And our first direction is that direction, or the start of the cycle, and it's our beginning cycle, and we talk about that, the spring cycle, and then we get into the summer cycle, then we get into fall cycle, and we get into winter cycle, and that's basically human nature. And so trying to connect those things just makes things more uh, applicable on what they want to do or what they want to accomplish. We need to move always, because that's what we were built for. That's what our ceremonies show us and tell us. We need to move. We need to
Yeah.
always move.
I like that. And I even just like your answer right now, it really ties into what I was going to ask next anyways, which was, why is it important that we reclaim traditional movement practices in Native communities today? And I feel like, tying the why that you're going to move, what is the reason? Okay, for my health, maybe, but if I can have that cultural aspect and even starting the day off, like you were saying, facing east in Hopi culture, helps you get the day started. Are there any other traditional movement practices that NAFC talks about in their trainings?
It's kind of really difficult to say, well, this movement is traditional. Walking is a movement. It's a movement that, all us humans have to do, or we're supposed to do, or we're meant to do. And one of my running programs that I talk about, and I talk about, well, let's build the foundation in just walking. or let's start with standing, our alignment. Make sure we get a good alignment and then start walking. How do we walk? We have some great stories. I have a story about a guy that was almost 400 pounds. And I met him finally, oh geez, quite a few years later. And he comes up to me, goes like, "Hey, I remember you." And I was at a running event, that a different program. I think it was called, oh, I can't remember their names now. They're out of Albuquerque. I went there just to see how they are and help them. And they asked me to join. And so I went there. And anyway, that's where I met him. And he goes like, hey, Brian, do you remember me? And I'm like, oh, hey, because I meet so many people from all over the country. That's a good problem to have. And go like, oh, I'm sorry, I just don't remember you. And he goes like, and then he pulls out his wallet, and he starts laying down cards. And so I kind of look at the cards and the driver's license. He goes like, he picks up this first one. He goes like, this is me when I first met you at 399 pounds. He goes like, you taught me about alignment. You taught me about setting my 11s. And that's what we call it. We got the foot, either V's, we got them A's, or we got them 11s. He goes like, you taught me about 11s. I hated walking. I hated movement because it hurt my knees. It hurt my hips. It hurt my back. But just setting up those 11s, some of that pain went away and I was able to walk. Then he shows me the next card. He lost like 50 pounds. Shows me the next card. Lost another 50 pounds. He showed me the next card. And finally he shows me today, I'm 187 pounds. And I'm like, you lost the whole person.
Mm-hmm.
He go like, yeah, you helped me lose a whole person just by telling me 11s, got rid of some of my pain, made me have a purpose, made me move, helped me move, got into running, and lost so much weight, and gave me a new life. And I'm like, you know, I'm done. My week at that event was done because I mean, I don't have, I couldn't top anything like that. That was an amazing story. But just like what you're saying about traditional movement, we need to move in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
We need to move, forward. If we're gonna accomplish anything, we need that direction. You know, splitting it. I kind of like look at this. Wow, I'm either going that direction or that direction, and a lot of us always talk about that. I kind of laugh about that with Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid. You walk this side of the road, you're safe. You walk this side of the road, you're safe. But if you walk in the middle, squish like a grape. And it's the same thing, if we're going to do something, commit to it, do it. That's kind of like what we do in our ceremonies. Hey, the ceremony is coming up. You can't be this way. You can't be that way. You got to commit to it. And to me, that's kind of the traditional thinking, and it's kind of how to tie movement into what we do. If we want to do something, then commit to it and do it. Because back in the day when there was no cars, no horses, we did everything on foot. We did everything walking. We did everything running, and that's where our genes come from. That's what got us here. That gave us that power to survive all the things that some people didn't get to survive. So, but we're here, and so I like to celebrate that and move correctly, move in that direction.
So have to move.
Yeah, yeah, to move, or your lights will go off.
These lights are going to be the bane of my existence. I'm so sorry. But no, I appreciate that. And then how do you feel that movement, and this can just be your opinion, or it can be what you've seen when you bring NAFC to Indigenous communities all over the US, is how does movement connect to mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness?
Yeah, I think that's the other portion that I started to, I guess, touch on more. It's not just about movement, and we started we started getting into that little bit more of a realm, we got to be careful. We're not just training a body part. We're not training, the biceps. We're not training, the glutes or the quads. We're not training, a basketball player. We're training a person, whether it's a youth or whether it's an elder or anybody in between. We're training a person, and they all have, you know, we all have things going on in our life. We all have issues in our life. We're all dealing with something, and that's something that we have to address as well. I think especially being a personal trainer at a facility, and your client doesn't show up, and you're like, come on, we made a commitment. You got to be here 4 times a week for an hour, you know. And we need to also understand that there's things in each other's lives um, that we had to deal with, and so we try to start incorporating uh, that's dimension part of training as well. Um, One of the things that I get a lot of inquiries about is because of my background in martial arts. I kind of put that also into kind of traditional, I guess, thinking. That's where how we pray, and what that thought process is, and how to use. I always call it the five things. There's five things that we need to train. One is the body, one is the mind, and everybody's starting to think about that. But then there's other three things. There's your soul, there's your spirit, and there's your Gao. And everybody goes like, I understand the soul, I understand the spirit, but what is the Gao? And that's in the martial arts. It's the energy, and we all have it. You know, when we watch a basketball game outside, our kids are playing, oh, good job, good job. But if we watch a state basketball tournament in the big coliseum, wherever, and a native team against another native team, man, there's so much energy there. Or, and so everybody understands that. Everybody, well, most people, I should say, understand that. And most people involved in ceremonies understand that. And so being able to connect different things and connect on how we can do things with intention, how we can do things, with our energy, with our spirit, and to help our soul, because we need that, because every day we're full of stress. Every day we're full of questions. Every day we want to be healthy, but we have those other things that we worry about so much. We have those other things that, I know, I think everybody does it. We have that motherly part that we're always worried about, and care for other people, and wish things could go really well, and 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 not just other people, then ourselves as well. Just talking to some people, this weekend was like, oh my gosh, you know, I was just talking to a friend of mine last night. I got to take care of my father. My father, the best grandpa in the world. He lives out in the sticks and walks every day. He had 5 heart attacks, but he still walks every day. And I'm like, oh my God, that's Superman. But you know, I mean, that's what she's thinking about. She's thinking about, well, who's going to take care of her father? Who's going to take care of the grandpas for my kids? And still trying to work, still trying to take care of her kids, and still trying to get a workout in.
Mm-hmm.
That it's really difficult, and so we got to be more empathetic to people, and especially those that are, diabetes is everywhere. There's so many people that have it, and so and I give a talk about it. It's my 30 minutes that I had diabetes, and I talk about that. My 30 minutes for me, it was a death sentence. And other people that have to deal with being diagnosed with diabetes or cancer or high blood pressure or whatever, we got to be more understanding of that. And that's kind of my I guess portion that I try to give to the instructors to, you're not just there to work people out and give them, a workout or how to lose weight or whatever, but you're there to help them. And it's not just with physical exercise, you're there to help them, um, and try to give them an ear, try to give them a place to go, because we all need a place to go, and we all need a safe place to go. So, and
Yeah.
usually that's the wellness center where they meet people like you that smile and go, hey, glad to see you came in.
Yeah, my chair exercise crew, they're my little stalkers. If I was out sick, I got a phone call, and they're just like, "Hey, we noticed that you weren't in today. Are you okay? Is your car all right?" They were my little abuelitas, my grandmas, my grandpas, my abuelos, and they were always checking on me. And they're like, "Oh, do you need me to bring some soup?" And I'm like, "No, stay at your home. I am sick. Stay away from me." They were super fun. And they would also call and check on each other if one of the students wasn't able to make it to a class. And I think it's really nice, like you're saying, the community wellness centers, they provide like that space where folks can, meet community, talk to one another, also get a good workout in, also maybe have a little gossip time, talking about what their neighbors are doing or what's going on in the family, who's having a baby, who's getting divorced, all that fun, the fun gossip that the elders like to bring in, especially um, when they get that time to chat with other folks like them in on that health and wellness journey. But at NAFC trainings, I think specifically like you and maybe Snow and Alfreda, you guys all talked about, approaching each of these, our students, our potential clients, potential fitness center members with empathy and making sure that the member's safety was at the forefront of our mind, not only their physical safety, but their mental safety as well. You had given an example of teaching an elder like chair class, and you were all excited. You just came back from like a balance thing, and you're like, woohoo, we're going to be on a yoga ball and we're going to do these moves. But you're working with elders who maybe don't have great balance. And so you had one elder who saw the yoga ball and said no, and was just like, I'm not getting on that. I'm going to fall. I don't want to fall. So no. And you really worked with her to realize, oh, well, it's not that she's afraid of the ball. It's more that she doesn't want to fall because, who's going to take care of her kids, the cat, whichever, and that you work to find like a happy medium where maybe she was using the yoga ball, but I think you had put like weights around the bottom of the ball to stabilize it, or you even got rid of the ball. I don't know exactly don't remember what it was. But I kind of kept that story in my head. And whenever I worked with elders and they were uncomfortable because of a certain like movement, maybe it's standing or using a certain weight or resistance band, I've had many of people in my life who've gotten injured by resistance bands. And so I think I had an elder who was weary about it because she got smacked before. So we made it really big in our class to learn about resistance band safety, how to grab it, where if you do pull it, never to pull towards the face, because I've also gotten smacked by a resistance band in the cheek, in the eye. It's been fun stuff. But I really kept that in mind, especially when teaching the classes and working with elders and the youth, making sure like, okay, yes, I have a goal. I want to do this with my student, but I need to make sure that they're okay with it. And I need to make sure that they do it safely and that they feel comfortable doing that movement. And if they don't, let's get rid of it, because what's more important is that they're here, not so much that I had a plan in my head and that they had to do that specific plan with me.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what we talk about with our participants, safety first. First, we want to make sure they can accomplish it safely, and then after that, then we can challenge them. Because if they can't accomplish it safely, they aren't going to do it. Yeah, and that story that you're talking about, yeah, it was I saw a trainer at a big event, I think it was like in Long Beach, and they were like, yeah, I'm gonna do this with my elders, and that's when the what do you call those balance balls, or I can't remember what they were called back then. They went through so many names, but I had to stop by and to see if she had any questions or needed any help with her elder program. And then I saw what she was doing, and I'm like, oh my God, I already know where this is gonna go. So yeah, I kind of said, hey, well, let's do this. Let's make it safe first. And I put those kind of hex weighted dumbbells in a little circle, put the ball there, and I jumped on it and tried to fall off. And I said, see, I can't fall off. I know you guys won't fall off. I showed them first, and then the first one got on and go like, oh, hey, this is fun. It's fun bouncing on it. And I love working with elders. Elders are like little kids. They do and say anything. And so it was so fun to work with them and just to get them to do something different. And I think that those stability balls, there it is. Stability balls are really, really good for for everyone, but even for the elders, and especially for the elders, because they need to work on balance and learning how when you work on balance, it's not 20 reps. It's a feeling,
Mhm.
and so you got to do it and get that feeling and work on getting that feeling and where you feel balance. So you need to get the reps in, but you gotta make it safe as well. So yeah, I think um always working and always keeping in mind you're working with a person. You know, I think John says it best. Like, hey, I think Marissa, you're doing a really good job. I trust you working with my grandma.
Mhm.
And that's a big compliment because we're all so protective of our families. And if we can trust you to work with our family member, you must be doing a good job.
Yeah, that's a really high compliment. And that's something for us to keep in mind too, if we are training a trainer or working with somebody who's working with the elderly, that we want to make sure that their safety is at the forefront of our mind, even though mentally they're little kids. Physically they're a little bit fragile, even though they'd like to tell you otherwise.
Yeah, they'll tell you otherwise.
Yeah. Do you have a success story that you can share about NAFC's impact on a specific community, person? I know earlier we shared that gentleman's story of his weight loss journey of going from like 400 something to about 180. And I think that's great. But do you have any other ones that you'd like to share?
Um, there's the one that I always started with when I first started with before it became NAFC. We had a program called Walking Strong program, which is basically all the programs that we have from personal trainer to community fitness leader to exercise and aging specialist to native youth fitness leader to medical conditions and exercise. It's pretty much was all of it in one. And you can cover all of that stuff, but that's what I think what I learned first. And um, John was my, I guess, evaluator. So I had to go out and start a program um, and see how it goes. And John would be my evaluator, and we'd do a evaluation presentation to see if this community would want this program. And so it was like my first one, and I went out there and I worked with this community elderly program. And there was this, it was very small. It was like it's out on the reservation, and it was like an old store. It used to be a store, a trading post. And so it was small. It was almost like, it was like a house, big house, living room. And that's where I met one lady. She was sitting there and they had a big oak table and that's where they did all their sewing and quilting, et cetera, et cetera. And then I met them. I think I started with maybe six elder women, and the seventh one was sitting over there at the table. And then I know I'm trying to, hey, come join us, but she was sitting there. She had a cast on her arm. She had a walker. And when I first walked into the building, she was there she had her walker upside down and she was trying to put something on it. And I go like, what are you doing? Because like trying to put these beer caps on my walker because the rubber thing wore out and now it just sinks in the sand. So I kind of had to laugh about that. So I helped her put on those beer caps on her walker and go like, you should get these replaced so it won't be like that. Anyway, so I tried to ask her over. She goes like, no, no, I'm good. I can't move. So we started, and then and gradually, that was my biggest thing was just really trying to focus on trying to get her out, and I tried to do a lot of different activities, and this is this story I give in my presentation when I work with the elders, because exercise isn't just, lifting weights. Exercise is not, it's not just how many reps you can get in, and I always say exercise is a four-letter word. Nobody likes to exercise, so you don't use that word. I'm like, hey, let's just use a three-letter word. Let's have some fun. And so that's when I played those little games. Raise your arm here, raise your arm here, and I change things up, and you know, especially for elders, they need that range of motion in their shoulder. So just that is great for them. You do it too much, then they start going like, ah, my shoulder's starting to ache. So you kind of had to limited things. Anyway, I finally got, had fun with the ladies, and she'd be back there laughing and joining in whatever we did, as long as she can sit and move, and she did everything. And gradually said one day she said, let me join. And so she joined. We had to put a chair there because she was not very good at movement. Long story short, we got her moving. We did all the things that we teach in the Native American Fitness Council curriculum. We fixed her alignment. We built her strength. We built her coordination. We built her flexibility. We built her balance, and she got rid of her walker, and she got rid of her cast, and she walked everywhere. And then at the end of my story, I tell her at the end of the training, I asked the program to get us some t-shirts. So they designed a t-shirt, and I finally was able to give them t-shirts. And I said, okay, my program's done. Good job. You guys are doing really well. So I was giving out t-shirts. I was calling the name. And since she was the last one to join, I called her last. I gave her t-shirt. She goes, oh, thank you. Thank you. I go like, oh, you're welcome. He says, no, really, thank you. And I just kind of like smile and go like, yeah, really, you're welcome. No, 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 really, really, thank you. And I go, really, really, you're welcome. Because like, wait, let me explain. And so then she explains that she was at a ceremony, and she was walking between two chairs, and or these rows of chairs, and she hit one, she lost her balance, and she fell, hurt her hip, broke her wrist. And after that, she didn't want to go anywhere. And so she stayed home. Her family tried to, hey, we're going uptown. We're going to have some Chinese. You love Chinese. Let's go up there. It was like, nope, just bring me back some mushu pork and some sweet and sour chicken. And so they brought it back for her. They're like, hey, we're going to town. You need some more quilting stuff. So let's go to Flagstaff. You can get all your quilting stuff. She goes like, no, no, no. I'll stay here. Wrote a list. Here's my list. Just bring me back my stuff. And so gradually she said that she just became a hermit. She didn't want to go anywhere because she was afraid to fall. And then that just turned into a hermit. And finally her family said, you know what? No more. We're not gonna do anything for you. We're not gonna help you anymore. And so if you need more quilting stuff, call the elder center. They have a van, they'll come pick you up. They have all the materials there. Go get it from them.
Mhm.
So finally one day she just said, okay. She called them. They came and picked her up, took her there, and that was the day I met her.
Mhm.
So she says, really, I really wanted to thank you for giving me my life back, because I turned into a hermit. I didn't want to go anywhere. I wasn't moving. I was getting worn down, and everything started to hurt. But ended up joining you guys, exercise, and I made them run. I got 80-year-old elders to run, and it was so awesome. And now she walks everywhere. And she was like my biggest advocate. She'd go into the senior center, and the new seniors that came in, they're like 65 years old, and she goes like, get up, you're not old, get up and start moving, get up, you're just acting old.
Mhm.
They're
Those are
like,
my favorites.
I'm 80 years old, get up. And so just with that community, it was so awesome to see them grow, and awesome to believe in movement, and how much it helped them feel better. I mean, just day-to-day activity. And so they really pushed it on the younger elders, and we kind of tore that apart. And it's not a walking strong. We don't offer walking strong anymore. So
Mhm.
we offer all the pieces of walking strong as the personal trainer, exercise and aging, native youth fitness leader, medical conditions and exercise, community fitness leader. So it's all of those. Um, and we get to give that or present that to a lot of people, and a lot of people use that all over.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And what a wonderful story for you to share too. Just the impact that something as like simple as walking can have on someone and the comfortability level with that and like how easily, I fall all the darn time walking. My boyfriend, he makes fun of me. He's like, I don't get how you can instruct Zumba for a full hour with all these routines and blah blah blah, but when you walk with me to walk the dog, you trip over the curb, you roll your ankle in the grass. Like it just, the math doesn't math. It doesn't make any sense. And I tell him I'm in the zone when I'm like teaching classes, and then when I'm like out and about walking my dog, I'm like my head's kind of like not in, oh, we got to balance. Like I have to be in the in the right headset, I guess, to balance. So I've been there. I empathize with that elder in losing her balance, and we can only make sure that we stay as physically healthy as we can be, so that way, if in the event that we do trip, at least we don't fall. Maybe we catch our balance.
Yeah, I think you said a great point about, walking is important, but I think it's on the other side of it, just that one fall. Just
Mhm.
that one fall is going to make a big difference in how you're going to think and how you're going to move, and 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 how you're going to live your life. You know, I remember when I first broke my ankle, and I wrapped it up and then played basketball and rolled my ankle again. And this time I wore high top shoes and an ankle brace, and I all the time trying to support it because I was afraid to roll my ankle.
Mhm.
And that process it actually made my ankle weaker.
Mhm.
It wasn't able to take care of itself, and I just walk across the parking lot and step on a little pebble and roll my ankle. And then I finally had to realize, well, I need to take away all that support. And that's one of the philosophies we talk about. If you want to protect something, you need to strengthen it, and not to rely on braces and other things to help it. But work on strengthening it instead of, so your body's doing it. And so when I did a lot of training, barefoot training, and everybody's I am very surprised. I think when I was like 25, everything hurt in me
Mhm.
from all my basketball injuries and getting run over by bulls and getting thrown by horses and blah blah blah. My knees hurt. It just was like I really was regretting becoming 50
Mhm.
when I was 25, because I already felt old. When the clouds came, my knees hurt, my ankles hurt. I was like, I was old. And so this training in full range of motion, what we what we try to promote, we need to work in the full ranges of motion. Just those just that philosophy alone, at my age now, I move way better than people in their 20s. My knees don't snap, crackle, pop like people in their 30s.
Mhm.
And it doesn't hurt. I
Yeah,
don't hurt.
and I witnessed that too when we did like our high kicks at one of the last trainings. I was like, that goes up super high. I couldn't get that high. So you gave me goals to aspire for. And yeah, I'm all, don't underestimate a book by its cover because this guy can kick pretty high.
Yeah, but I think it's this movement. If you keep moving like we're supposed to,
Mhm.
um, our body uh, supports us. Our body gives us um, thumbs up. It doesn't hurt. I think hurting is kind of a warning,
Mhm.
And I think achy knees and achy ankles and achy hips and achy backs is a warning that you're not moving enough, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to most people go like, "Oh, my knees hurt, so I'm not going to move." No, this is to me, it's a warning that you need to move more. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody sees it. I think even when we were doing um, putting Native American Fitness together, Native American Fitness Council together, other people were trying to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason why we succeeded and they didn't is we focused on teamwork. John has a niche, Alfreda had a niche, I had a niche, and then all the people that we bring in, like Snow had a niche, um, Danny has a niche, Courtney has a niche, Dwight has a niche. They all have a little piece of the pie,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think a lot of other companies or the other people that try to do this same same business or same uh, trying to give this to the natives, they just like either had one or two, and they were only to be able to give a small portion of that pie,
Mm-hmm.
but we were able to have a bigger team and be able to give a bigger portion to the trainers and then other people that wanted this information. So I think that's probably how we survived. All the competition and all the other obstacles that we had to go through, and we, like Frida Barnes not with us anymore, and
Mm-hmm.
other people aren't with us anymore. They went their separate ways, but we're very thankful at what they were able to bring to the table and give to all the people that attended and some of the stuff that we got to pick up from them as well. So I mean, Native American Fitness Council, it's not me and John,
Mm-hmm.
it's a collaboration of all these other awesome trainers and awesome perspectives and that's why we have this amazing awesome and amazing mission. And I don't think it's going to ever uh, go down because I think there's a lot of people behind us as well that believe the same things.
Yeah, and they want to see that work continue. And what's funny is at my first NAFC training, I actually got to meet my cousin because I mean, my last name is Hemstreet. Not too many people have that are native. And so I remember John reaching out to me and say, "Hey, did someone in your family work with us?" And it was Ryan Hemstreet. And I got to meet him and I had to ask my dad. I was like, "Hey, who is this guy? He has our last name." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's your cousin from so and blah blah blah." And yeah. And I was like, "How come you've never talked about them to me?" He goes, "I don't know." The small world. And after I met him, I got to meet other family members too out in Arizona area. So I think that was nice too. You guys connected me to family as well.
Oh yeah, I just now remember we actually had a strong representation with NACA as well,
Hmm.
Native American for Community Action,
Hmm.
and that's who Ryan used to work with, and Heidi and them, and Maurice
Hmm.
and Brenda. So um, we had a wonderful team. We had wonderful people, and still there's people coming in. There's still people that want to help. There's still uh, hope there's room and I hope it grows bigger, and that's it, but coming out of COVID, we're like we just me and John had to grind,
Hmm.
and really Dwight helped us out a lot, Snow helped us out a lot, but we made it past COVID, so let's get bigger and try to help more people
Yeah.
all over. So I think this year's going to be crazy busy. I think we're going up to Alaska as well. They're bringing us up, and hopefully with the um, things can get worked out with this government funding cut stuff. So hopefully we can go up there, and then we also got another one going to Micmac tribe in Maine. That's like
Mhm.
it's like 15 miles from the border, and it's like wow, it's way up there. But I think it's going to be an awesome place to go to, and even I think might be a chance to start reaching into Canada to the First Nations people.
Mhm.
They're Native Americans, but I think they call themselves First Nations people. And some of the Mi'kmaq tribe live in the United States and then also have I guess, dual citizenship and also are in Canada. So some of those people are going to be coming over. So um, it's still growing, still growing.
That's awesome. And then, so where can people find out about NAFC and, all the trainings that you offer?
Well, we have a couple of places. One, we give out. Well, let me start. Our website, Native American, www.nativeamericanfitnesscouncil.com. All one word. I know that's a big one. We tried to get NAFC, but I don't know what company had that. But nativeamericanfitnesscouncil.com. Our website's there. And if you click on the events page, that's where we usually put our main trainings that we have that other people can attend. We do also on-site training. We're going to do one for what they call Aztec, Albuquerque area, Southwest Tribal Epidemiology Center. So we're doing one for them. The other one is another epidemiology group out of Alaska, and that's the one we're going to be going through. Um, so we do other stuff on site, but we don't advertise those. We have a Facebook page, Native American Fitness Council, at Facebook. So go over there, join, and we try to keep that updated. Then also you can sign up with for our listserv, and we usually send out things, announcements on our listserv, so you can get emails. We just had our uh, Las Vegas event, our personal trainer in Las Vegas event, fill up. So we closed it. I don't know when this is going to go out, but I think we only have like a couple of spots. So we really want to join that event. You're going to have to call the office. I think look on their website, has the office number there.
So you've heard it here first, folks, that there's some trainings coming up from the NAFC. If you're interested in attending, check out their website, nativeamericanfitnesscouncil.com. They have a training for Native Youth Fitness Leader Cert coming up in May 13th through 16th, personal trainer certification in June with the Mi'kmaq tribe in Maine from June 24th through June 27th. So if you guys are interested, the registration information is available on their website. And another question for you is, what is your vision for NAFC's future? So I think we kind of touched on it a little bit throughout our time together, that you want it to continue on, even if you're not able to be a part of NAFC. How would you see that coming to fruition?
Oh man, you're thinking too far ahead for me.
I'm already
Uh,
mentally retiring you. I'm like, you guys have done so much work.
yeah. Oh man, but right now we're preparing. I think one of the big I guess the big step that we're going to be taking is John wants to retire. So he's actually giving up reins. So in 2 years I should become the director or the CEO or whatever they want to call me that at that time. So I'll be taking over in 2 years. And John will step back and probably still help out with a lot of the educational stuff. Then after that, man, I don't know how long I'm going to last, but from then I'll probably immediately start thinking about, well, who we're going to be handing off the reins to. I think that's one of the reasons why we chose to go the nonprofit route, so we can have some more help, get more people involved. We just talked to an individual that's really into fitness and that's been part of our team as well, to join our board, and so they can help our mission and keep everything going. But so but we're gradually going in that direction, and my wish, my hope would be, it doesn't ever end, and it grows bigger, it's a place um, to come, you know, any native or pretty much anybody can come to get some help, get some services, and give them some more ideas and help them in their journey and help others in their journey. We just got actually a email from some guy from Finland that works with youth, and he really is interested in Native youth fitness leaders. He was like, "Hey, what you guys are doing awesome. I want to learn that. I want to bring that to Finland."
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh, cool."
You guys gonna go international? That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's awesome to hear, and thank you for sharing that with us. And kudos to John retiring in 2 years and you becoming the new head of NAFC. That's going to be exciting. Um, how can people support or get involved in NAFC's mission? So I see on the website that there's a donate button. Do folks just click that and donate that way? Are there any other ways that you've received donations?
Like I said, we just barely got our status back, so we have a support page on our website. So probably the easiest way, you can go into the support page. There's a couple of things that we've been working on trying to develop. One was the native instructor development. I mean, there's a lot of people uh, interested in joining the NAFC team and want to learn how to present and be on the platform at this level. Uh, I remember when I first started, it was so hard. I learned the hard way. I got put up on stage and was always asked, "Why did you say that? Why did you do that? How come it took 15 minutes? You should have taken 10 minutes." And you know, and all this stuff that I got to learn and now all these supportive uh, I don't know, like uh, information is out there, how to develop a team, how to develop leadership, how to present. I mean, everything is at our fingertips now,
Mhm.
so we like to help other instructors, other natives to become instructors at this level, at this platform level. And I think it's, being able to get people to get there is amazing. It just changes how people um, see the information. It changes how people see you. It changes how people receive that information as well. It means so much more. And then also the cultural educational part. I think one of the things that I had to take a step back and really start looking at is when we got the people from Alaska and we're working with them, those tribes up there, and they go like, "Wow, we're not runners. It's too cold to run.
Mhm.
What can we do that's inside?" And stuff that we do with the youth. We we borrow from them and use that as well. But everything crosses over, so it goes right into the native youth. We need more program. I think that was the biggest thing that when somebody came to us with Native American Fitness Council, says you need to focus on the youth. You need to focus on the elders. And so that's one of the things that we did. And we have the Native Youth Fitness Leader, and then we also have the Native or the Exercise and Aging Specialist portion. And the last one that we want to really focus on the Native Exercise Science Initiative. It's just really trying to develop more, the science portion of exercise and how to implement that and put that into maybe more traditional or cultural movements and trying to keep it the tie-in of the why should we move this way, why should we move this, because it's it's not just only culturally backed, but it's also scientifically backed. So
Mhm.
um, those are a few things that we are trying to implement in our part of our uh, support to donate. We're very lucky that there's some people this see us and go like, "Oh, you guys are doing really awesome," and gave us support. And that, yeah, you got to see that when you went to Oklahoma,
Mhm.
where we had a person that was hearing impaired and needed a signer, or I don't know what you would call that,
Yeah, deaf, hard of hearing.
hard of hearing.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, and anyway, so we had to hire somebody. Um, we had two ladies, and they were there. They were signing the whole time, and lo and behold, Marissa was there, doing her stuff. And you're like,
Throwing hands.
yeah, throwing hands, and it was a great feeling that we were able to provide um, that support for him, because then he was really thankful, and then also those ladies that were there, they were really thankful because well, we never heard of exercise, in this manner, and we never been around this many natives, that are motivated and want to do things from all over the country that are on the same mission to help their people. And it's like it was everybody was just happy with that. So um, we're very fortunate, and we could always use help, more help.
Yeah. I've as employee of a nonprofit, yeah, same here. All nonprofits we could use help. But if you believe in the mission of NAFC, and that movement is medicine, don't fret, donate today. Check out their website. They have a little 501c3 little donate button on their website. Check it out. And if you want, you can go ahead and check out the description of this episode. We'll also have the links and stuff that we mentioned below. Well, thank you so much for joining us for today's episode of the IHC podcast, Culture is Medicine. Thank you. All right, so some upcoming events that Indian Health Center has is on our website at indianhealthcenter.org/events to stay up to date. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the episode, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. If you like our content, check out our Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Our handle is @IHC San Jose. Thank you.